Hi, I'm Gillard, the 27th Prime Minister of Australia and Chair of the Global Institute of Women's Leadership. In my family home, we were really taught to value education. Neither of my parents had finished secondary school. We migrated from the United Kingdom to Australia. They'd literally gone halfway around the world to get my sister and I a better opportunity in life. And so I did value education. I got to go to university, and when I was there were some big government cutbacks to education funding. And so the first thing that ever got me involved in anything that looked like politics, public policy, raising my voice, advocacy, was trying to change the government's mind about these reductions in education funding. And really it was that moment, discovering that if you did raise your voice, you could make a difference, that propelled me into the rest of the journey. I finally, through student politics, got the idea that someone like me could be in Parliament and could have an impact on my nation's future. It took me a while to finally make the decision that yes, I did want to seek an opportunity and try and be a parliamentarian. And after I made that decision, I actually experienced several failures. I put myself forward for pre-selection by my political party and was rejected. I stood for election once and wasn't elected. And so part of what shaped me for the future was that sense of resilience and perseverance that you've got to show when failure comes your way. And I've taken from that we shouldn't be afraid of failing. If you put yourself forward for something big and difficult, it's inevitable that from time to time you will fail. As long as you learn from it and go on to the next stage, it's not a bad thing. What it meant for me is by the time I actually got into Parliament, I was far more ready to go than I would have been if I'd got pre-selected and elected first time round. I think for women who are going to put themselves forward for something that's public, it might be politics, but it might be a range of other occupations that bring you into the public square and people start critiquing you and saying things about you. It's very important to nurture a sense of self that isn't going to be on this roller coaster of people are saying nice things about me on Twitter today, I feel good about myself. They're saying dreadful things, the next day, and then you feel bad about yourself. You've got to nurture a sense of self that's not hostage to those ups and downs. Now that doesn't mean that you should be impervious to constructive criticism. We've all got to be able to hear from people who care about us and are helping us to be our best. But I really do worry that sometimes, particularly women, get themselves in a position where what others are saying about them is really affecting them internally. For me, in politics, I learned very early on by watching the experiences of some other women that you couldn't get on that roller coaster. And I think it stood me in good stead and helped me be resilient when times got really tough. One piece of advice that's made a real difference to me is to get out a sheet of paper and actually write down your purpose, what you want your life to be about. You might think you know that in your head, but there is a challenge in putting it into words. And if you overcome that challenge and then carry that piece of paper with you, it's very steadying. There's a lot about life that can push you around and get you off course. If you've got that clear, then you can always come back to it to make sure that you're staying true to the things that you decided were important in your life.